Hey, everybody out there, welcome back to 91.8 The Fan. It is I, your favorite holiday-themed host, the DJ Christmas, and I have with me a super special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself to the fans out there?
Hi, I'm Jesse Nowak, known as Nowacking online.
Well, thank you for finally coming on the show, generic female character voiced by Nowacking.
It is awesome to be here. Thank you for having me.
And you are part of the abridging scene. It's been a while since we talked to any abridgers. We should really have some of the guys back on. Maybe we will see them at Youmacon. I know we're going. I don't know if they've been announced yet, but they always go to Youmacon. It's the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
But what sort of abridging things do you work on? There's all types out there.
Yeah, let's see. For just voicing roles, I've been in like over 100 parodies, so I've lost track at this point. But for ones that I do myself, I'm a co-writer for Pokemon Bridged, and I also voice Misty, Officer Jenny, Joy, Max, Bayleaf, bunch of characters in there. And
I
my
like how
solo
it's like, yeah, human Bayleaf.
Bayleaf is the one Pokemon I have to say because Bayleaf is so fun. And for myself, my solo parody is Dark Swamp, which is a parody of Black Lagoon. Well, like it's a parody. It's a comedy drama, so it's more on the serious side. And I voice Revy and a bunch of people and edit that myself. Uh,
Black
yeah.
Lagoon is an interesting thing to put a spin on. It's almost sort of like Hellsing is one of those really dark, really entertaining shows. Like whenever
Yeah.
I talk to somebody about Black Lagoon, it's like, why should I watch Black Lagoon? Let me think. They take out a helicopter with a torpedo in episode 2. That's just episode 2.
That's the sole reason you should watch it, just for that. And then everything else that comes after it is awesome as well. So it'll suck you in. But yeah, Black Lagoon is such a serious, darker sort of show that the reason that I made Dark Swamp is because Abridged Forms was having a contest that was like, they have contests like once every couple months, and I never enter them because I'm too busy and stuff like that. But one of them was like do something with mind reading, and that really caught my attention. And I was like, I want to do something with that. So I went through every anime I could do, and the first one I thought it was Black Lagoon, and I was like, no, don't do it, don't do Black Lagoon. And so I tried so hard not to do Black Lagoon, but then everything started coming into place, and I was like, I need to do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think I've seen a couple results of those contests. Like there, every
Yeah.
once in a while, you'll see a decent one shot pop up, and it's like, oh well, this is generally funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. There are some things that you only want to be a one shot thing, and then there are the others that lend themselves to a big long series. And
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where if you go too big, eventually you either fall off or you have to really stick with the commitment. Sort of like Naruto fell off, but DBZ is a big thing because everybody wants to keep it going.
Yeah. Because at first I thought it was just going to be a one shot, but then while I was finishing editing episode 1 for the contest, and it won, so that really also helped as well. Because I was like, I don't know if people like this, but everyone was like, yeah. But halfway through editing episode 1, I was like, yeah, I think I can make a whole series out of this. So Dark Swamp is going to have 13 or 14 episodes.
Very cool. I
Yeah.
remember back when abridging was like the hip thing to do. I thought about doing a Digimon one, but I realized that I didn't have a very good mic, and my only real editing tool was Windows Movie Maker. And I'm like,
Oh, poor thing.
no. I made my first, I think, 4 AMVs with Windows Movie Maker, and they were all just AMV Hell clip show ripoffs. So I'm like, well, I get a good chuckle out of these, and I'll show them to like the anime club at high school. But uh, I went back and watched them a while ago. I'm like, these need to be wiped from existence. I never want to see these again. These are the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't watch my old work. I can't.
It's just it's back in the old days when people would just rip stuff off YouTube, and there were DivX logos on top of DivX logos on top of the channel watermark, and it's like, oh my god, I use this. This is my source material. Oh. And
Gotta add the rainbow filter, make it all kawaii.
and then my main pet peeve became the discrepancy between 16:9 and 4:3, because you'd have some clips in 4:3 and then some in 16:9.
Yeah. I
And
didn't know anything about editing either back then. I didn't know anyone, so I just had to mess with it myself.
oh, but man, I was a pro with Windows Movie Maker. I could run circles with that program. It was that's like saying you're the best at I don't know.
Eating garbage.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm really good at this.
I'm really good at this one thing that nobody actually likes to do. But now you actually are a part of a couple of the really well-known series out there. You're in DBZ and Hellsing. What do you do in those?
In DBZ Abridged, I voice Screaming Woman and Screaming Child, and it's great because I voice my own child. And one kid who I do Pokemon Bridged with, he voices my husband and my father. So it was a very messed up scene, but it was hilarious. It's at the beginning of Garlic Jr. when they did the like one episode with it. I think that's all. I've auditioned for a character in DBZ, didn't get it, or DBZ Abridged, didn't get it, but like maybe I'll be in a future episode. Who knows?
Yeah, there's still plenty of DBZ Abridged to get on with.
Yeah, I don't I've never seen Dragon Ball Z, but I've heard there are lots of characters, so I'm sure they might throw me in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I also voice Saris, also known as Big Titted Police Girl in
The
Hellsing
police
Abridged.
girl.
Police Girl.
That
So she's fun.
that's one of the things that once Taka gets rolling with something, he just has way too much fun.
Yes.
And have you ever been a part of any of those like scripting sessions or?
Nah, I'd love to sit in on one, see how their minds work, but I'm usually just brought in when the script is done, and then they direct me.
And who does the directing for you? Is it usually Kaiser?
Yeah, Kaiser and Taka usually.
That's always fun. I always hear, like, I'm curious about how an abridged directing session is different from an actual directing session because it's a little more lenient with abridged stuff because you guys edit lip flaps yourself and do everything like that. But with actual dubbing, it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah, I got to experience that because I voiced a minor role in an anime recently, and I will never ever take multiple takes for granted ever again. Because when I went in for the anime, they take like your first or second take and then move on, and I was like, wait, no, I can do that better. Wait, no. But for bridge stuff, I can do as many takes as I want, and I'm allowed to improv and stuff like that. So they're very different beasts.
Yeah, and it's sort of the different sides of the coin where you have the freedom versus the time constraints where it's like, all right, that's good enough. We'll move on to the next one because we're paying you by the hour. Let's go.
Exactly, yeah. Because parodies, we're not getting paid, so we can just mess around and take as much time as we need, pretty much.
Yeah, and for anybody who wants to check out at least a halfway decent list, I think you have your own page on the abridged wiki, which I didn't even know was a thing until I went to look up all the stuff you do because we try to do research around here. Sometimes I'm like, well, I know obviously Dark Swamp and the Pokemon and Police Girl, but is there anything else that I don't know about? And yes, there's a lot of things that I don't know about.
Yeah, I used to have my own site. It's been down for a while though, because it was hosted by Pursued by a Bear, which is an educational website that I do videos for sometimes. And their site went down, so then my site went down with it. So I'll have to find a way to recover my entire friggin' resume of a jillion pages.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, there it goes. I made the conscious decision when I started watching anime because I knew I was going to watch a lot once I got hooked into it, and I didn't get really hooked into it until like 2005, 2006 when Naruto hit the big time and sucked everybody in to watching it again on Cartoon Network because when Toonami first ran and it was all the classics like Bebop and Trigun, I didn't really pay attention. The only thing I watched at that point was just DBZ religiously. So, and that was one of the things. Oh, it's just a show. I didn't consider it anime. But once I made the conscious click, is like this is anime. These are all anime. There's a lot of them. I need to keep track. I had a .txt file for all my stuff until I found a website to keep it all in check.
Yeah, I used to watch Naruto and the Four Kids dub of One Piece and Bobobo, and I didn't know what anime was. I just watched it because I was like, it's cool, it's cartoons.
Yeah, the Four Kids stuff of One Piece. The
Yo!
yo, yo. Like as much as I hate what they did to it, I guess it's okay if My big issue is that you can't really water down a series like One Piece and still have it be faithful and get the same point across, because
Yeah.
it doesn't work.
I think they did what they were meant to do, but like they wanted to make it for
Yeah,
kids. But as adults, we want the gritty details. We want, what's the character? Bellamere? Is that her name?
Bellamere. Yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
want Bellamere to die and not go to the dungeon. We'll deal with that stuff. We like it. But for the little kiddies, I understand Sanji's sucking on a lollipop and Luffy has to go the thing that he did.
one of my favorite things is when they do an analysis of episode 2 where they replace Helmeppo's gun with
The
crazy.
slingshot.
No, it's like this. It's like got the base of a gun, but at the end of it, it's like this spring-rigged boot to kick Kobe in the head or something. And there's like this one scene. It's a couple frames where they're focusing on Luffy and they've got Helmeppo in the background. They didn't edit the gun out of that particular scene, like
Oh,
those 15 frames or so, and it's pretty obvious to see. It's like, oh,
that's hilarious.
yeah.
A spring-loaded boot seems a little elaborate to carry around. Like there's no holster for that thing. How does?
Yeah, it's I don't know. And then all the Marines use water guns. uh, well, we could rant about Four Kids all day, but that's that. If nothing else, Four Kids has given us the entertainment to rip on stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh
In Pokemon
and Pokemon with their donuts.
and they're bouncing sandwiches down hills.
Yeah, it's
Personal
like
favorites.
the sandwich is pretty good, but
It's a giant sandwich.
giant sandwich. Hmm. I'm always a big fan of the donut from the Mankey episode because
Yes.
like that's no donut I've ever seen. Whatever. I guess I'll just roll with it because I'm a kid. What do I know?
I was glad we got to rip on that for the bridged episode.
Yeah, and that's actually where Mike's handle comes from. One kids.
Yeah.
So I think there was another one that was floating around a few years ago. Two kids, and they did something or other. I
I forget. Two kids might actually be Mike's backup account. I can't remember. He has
possibly.
three
I
backup
just
accounts.
remember it popped up somewhere back when, like I said, when abridging was the hip thing, and now it's sort of. I wouldn't say it's died off, but it has sort of condensed into the people who still commit to it, and it's not the people just hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah. Because the I'm glad it's kind of calmed down a little bit, because the good thing about a bridge series is anyone can make one. The bad news about a bridge series is anyone can make
Anyone
one.
can make one. And like I said, I always thought about the one I was gonna do. I think was Digimon adventure. And like, yeah, it'll be great because I know so much about Digimon, and it's 50 episodes. And then I realized like I should not do this thing. This is not a thing I should do. There are people who can do this better than me. I'm not one of these people that is good at this thing. I will just stick to voice matching Martin's abridged series at the high school lunch table for as long as I can, because that's fun. That's always fun.
Yeah.
And I like in high school when there's nothing to do, I tended to gravitate towards Wikipedia, and then I found Wikias. And one of the early things I found out was the transcripts for every Naruto or Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series episode are on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki.
Really?
Yeah, so you can read the transcripts for every Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. It's not even on the Abridged Wiki, it's on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki. So I would just do that when I was done with my Photoshop class. That was like a class we took. It's Multimedia 1. It's basically the joys of Photoshop. So once you finish editing wrinkles off an old lady, I would just spend forever on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I did that in I went to 3 high schools because I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
And senior year I was at a public high school, and it wasn't the nicest, so I didn't really have many friends there. So yeah, during breaks I would just go on Wikipedia and just look up, hey, what are oranges about? And I'd look up oranges on Wikipedia and just read about them for
I would
half an
link
hour.
bounce. Wikipedia in high school was essentially what TV Tropes is now for me. It's just link to link to link to link, and it's like just
Yes, exactly. TV Tropes is awesome too. discovered it, and I spent like 2 hours on it because I was like, I write this stuff, but I didn't know there were names for it.
Yeah,
Whoa.
exactly. It's like, oh yeah, that is like that's what people are widely accepting this as. That's what it's called. Okay, yeah. What other stuff is like that in this thing? And
The Pokemon Bridge TV Tropes page is fun too. It's funny actually because the big joke about purple is that the audience just doesn't know what the purple joke is, and we're just like figure it out. And TV Tropes has a definition for what purple means, and it's wrong, and it's hilarious because it's on TV Tropes. It's like an official page. It's like, oh no, no,
you're
I'm one of the writers. That's not
you're
no.
you're just wrong, TV
You're just
tropes.
wrong. Don't put that as fact, please.
But I feel like because of those old high school Wikipedia days, I've sort of built an immunity to TV tropes, and it's like, yeah, I can just get off TV tropes whenever I want. I'm like, yeah, I'm done reading TV tropes for now. Goodbye, TV tropes. But back when I first started getting hooked onto it, I would open 20 tabs. It's like, okay, go. And it
Everything.
ironically, it's one of the easy ways to stay awake, but it's one of the easy ways for me to fall asleep because after a while, my eyes just get so tired from reading everything. It's like, I gotta go to bed. I'm done. But now, back to the subject of abridging. Sometimes you guys head out to conventions. I know you went to or not Yomacon. Wow.
We
Uh,
did go to Yomicon.
Otakon this past weekend.
Yes.
And I have never been to Otakon, but I hear it's a lot of fun when people aren't pulling fire alarms.
Yes, Otakon is great. Otakon is one of the cons that like really takes care of their panelists. Like they comp your badge, even if you just do one panel, and there's a panelist room where they provide snacks and such.
Really?
Yeah, and they give you a nice little ribbon for your badge. They
I gotta
very
go to
much
Otakon.
respect. Yes, they very much respect panelists, and for that they're one of my favorite conventions.
Yeah, I've recently started doing one of my own. Like, obviously, we do panels as 91.8 The Fan, but I've been doing my own because I have my own article on the website, Merry Melodies, spelled different from the Looney Tunes Merry Melodies to avoid copyright infringement. But
Don't
because
sue us, it's different.
but because I'm Christmas, I gotta throw in a Christmas pun somewhere, so that's the one I've got for Merry. But it's
I
just an analysis on the openings and endings of anime, and what you can tell from just the 90-second animation, and who sings it, and what else do they sing for what else series, and this and that and the other thing.
You need to do a review of Piano's opening.
Piano.
It's just turning. All they do is turn their heads. You see one shot and they're like, oh, and then another shot, it's like, oh. Oh, Piano. Don't
But
watch Piano. Watch the opening. And then be sad. Because it's depressing. And there's turning. Lots of turning.
but it's basically in panel form. It's an hour-long panel of me saying, yeah, these are a bunch of anime songs that I like, and I'm gonna share them with you. You should watch these animes. They're really good. Uh, the first time I went to do it at Anime Boston, my panel coincided with the God, who was the band there? It coincided with a concert. Uh,
Oh, so was it really loud?
well, it wasn't that I was near the concert room. It's just like go to music-related panel or go to concert.
Yeah.
And I actually had a decent turnout. I was really surprised. I guess there were still enough people that didn't want to get into the concert, but were still interested in my panel. I think I was after a cosplay makeup panel. So,
Huh.
um,
One kid's, Chris Kaysen and I were all guests at a convention called QuinnyCon. It's just a little con at
I love Kason.
university. Yeah, he rocks. He's so
Yeah,
cool.
he always every year he comes to AAC, the local New Hampshire convention, and
Yeah.
he's just so much fun.
Nice. Yeah,
I love
that
his
was our
hat.
first time meeting him.
He has an awesome hat.
Yeah. But his panel, we both had multiple panels throughout the weekend, and we were right next to the stage. So there was a concert, and so all during Chris's panel, it was like super loud, and people were opening and closing the doors because people wanted to come into the panel, and then it just got louder. And then Mike and I's panel was afterwards, and it was less loud, but it's always fun to have a panel right next to the concert room. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. And then when I went to try to do it this past year at AAC, I got the one room where somebody had ruined uh, the sound system, so I didn't have
Oh.
any way to connect my laptop to the speakers. So I basically spent half of the hour-long panel looking around trying to find a way to get sound to the audience.
Oh, that sucks. Because
And
it's music. Like, you
it's
kind of
very
need it.
very important to have sound with a music-based panel, and I didn't even find that. So the compromise was to hold my talking microphone to the speakers of my laptop, and maybe
Oh,
they could hear it.
you could just sing everything.
I
Create it with your mouth.
that's one of the other things that I probably should not do. I should not do that thing. There are people who are better at it than I am, and I will let them do it instead of me. It's just one of those things. But uh, we personally are heading out to a bunch of conventions. I'll be back at AAC. Hopefully, it's a little bit better for us this year. We're going as guests. We'll be broadcasting radio stuff there.
Yes.
And then a couple weeks after that, we're being flown out to Youmacon, where we are also doing that thing with the panels and the music and the stuff.
Awesome. If I go this year, I'll have to say hey.
Yeah, are there any conventions that you know that you're going to be heading out to, or was Otakon pretty much the big one?
I forget when Alcon is, but Mike and I are guests at that, so we're flying out to England land.
Let
And
me see here. Alcon.
Mhm.
That is not the Alcon I wanted.
Yeah, I think if you search Alcon, it just brings up like a different site.
alcon.org.uk. Here we are.
Yeah.
That's weird. .org.uk. I've never seen that before. The 5th through 8th of September.
Yes. So that'll be super fun.
With such amazing guests as Nowacking, One Kids, Little Karibo, The Nostalgia Critic, and Kyle A. Bear.
Yes.
Well, that'll be fun.
Totally. I'm really looking forward to that. And after that, I'm a guest at a pony convention in Canada.
PonyCons.
Yeah.
They're always fun unless they're not.
I think that's called Canterlot Con. I think can as in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
PonyCons are interesting because they've really popped up because it's a fandom that really just sprung up, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I stand with My Little Pony anymore. Like, I don't. They jumped the shark, and I'm not sure if I'm okay with it. I sort of fell off halfway through season 3. I think I watched the first few episodes, and I made it a point to watch the new Discord episode, but I haven't seen a lot of season 3, and I'm not sure if I really care to. It's just one of those things where I feel like a hipster, but I like it better in season 1 and like the first half or so of season 2. I'm very particular about it. I don't know.
I really liked I'm kind of the opposite actually because I really liked season 3 and season 2 is really good too, and I like the end of season 1.
It's just one of those where everyone has their own preferences, but it's definitely a great show for what it does, and
Yeah.
I'll always be a Fluttershy fan.
Yeah, I love Rainbow Dash. You know what? I should take back. I don't like the finale of season 3. I was about it.
Okay, like because that was my main thing. I was thinking about catching up, and then they're like, "We're gonna make Twilight a princess, Alicorn," and it's like,
Yeah, I think they could have done it a lot better. It seemed really, really rushed, ridiculously rushed.
it feels rushed, it feels forced, and it feels like nothing except a marketing ploy.
Buy the toy, buy the toy, buy the toy.
Yeah, it's like you gotta have this Twilight and that Twilight. It's like, I'm not sure if I'm okay with this. And then they did the movie, and I'm like, this is a thing. This is the thing that Hasbro has done.
Buy the toys, buy the toys.
Buy the toys. Buy the toys.
Now you can have 3 different kind of Twilight sparkles. It's great.
Yeah, and whatever Hasbro wants to do, they obviously know how to make money and how they want to do it. So whatever. But the conventions are another thing because they've been popping up all over the place, and some are really good and really well organized, and others are very much less so.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to find the ones that are well done, and then you just hear these stories about the ones that invite Tara and Andrea and everyone out, and then nobody gets paid, and you're like, oh.
I was so sad about that one because it was Marika Hendricks. She voices Gilda in My Little Pony and Revy. Yeah. Oh, does she voice? I don't think she voices Spitfire actually.
Yeah, she does. We talked to her
Really?
a while. Yeah, she does Gilda, Spitfire, and then we talked to her about all the Revy stuff. And
Were there like 3 different voice actresses for Spitfire? Because I remember it kept changing at one point.
possibly, but I know in the season 1 finale it is Mareka.
Really? That's cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. But yeah, she's awesome. And that was like her first PonyCon, the one that she didn't get paid at. And I was like, no, no,
Yeah. It's
please come back.
it's tough because it's one of those fandoms where you either need to embrace it or completely avoid it, and uh, it it's kind of tough to tell which have and which haven't. I think Tabitha sort of leans to the side of avoiding it nowadays.
Yeah, I haven't seen her at many.
I know she went to Anime Vegas where it was just her and Tara that were representing My Little Pony, but uh, it's always tough. And then you have the ones like Michelle Kraber who does Apple Bloom. She's completely into it.
Yeah.
I see her on Twitter. I'm like, she's only like 14. This is crazy.
Yeah.
But you've got that, like we said, the Alcon over in the UK for our UK fans, and then the Canadian bronies, and anything else besides maybe Youmacon. We might see you there.
Maybe there's a chance that I might be there, but it depends on things.
Depends on things. I know their most recent guest related announcement was that John and Ellen wouldn't be able to go. So
yeah, that sucks.
I was really looking for, because John actually, we talked to him a while ago, and when we talked to him, he talked about this book he wrote, and I read it. I bought it on my Kindle. I'm like, this is a really good book. I want to like meet him in person and tell him how good of a book it was. And like, now I won't get that chance. So, I know we're friends on Steam. One of the interesting things about
so you're friends with the sniper on Steam.
Yeah, the funny thing about it though is he is almost never not playing Civ 5. I'll just see a thing pop up in the bottom right corner of my computer. Is like the sniper is playing Civilization 5 again, and it's one of those funny things. Like, is he actually playing Civ 5 or does he just log into it to do stuff? I don't know. I've never been a big fan of the Civilization series, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. But I know we are definitely going out to Youmacon, and it hasn't been announced that the Team 4-star crew will be, but I'm pretty sure they will because it's not really Youmacon without them.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on it. And there's plenty of time for them to be announced and plenty of time for everyone else to be announced. But as of right now, I think it's just us. Martin has been announced officially. John St. John,
Okay.
Kyle, and Todd.
Nice.
And Crows is banned, and Steam Powered Giraffe will be there, which I'm pretty excited about.
Sweet.
But it's bound to be a lot of fun. If you're heading to any of those conventions, come see us and or Nowacking and One Kids. There's sort of a package deal. You got to take one with the other.
Yes.
But is there anything else that you would like to promote to the fans out there?
Let's see.
You got the Pokemon Bridge, which where is Pokemon Bridge located?
One Kid. It's a One Kids' YouTube channel, so it's youtube.com/onekids. The number 1.
The number 1 kids.
Yeah.
And
let me double check that, because if I'm wrong, I'll be sad.
I'm sure you could just search One Kids Pokemon and it'd pop up.
Yeah, it'll pop up. We put the name Pokemon Abridged so that people would be able to find it easier, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of searching Pokemon Abridged and seeing jillion results and trying to wade through all the muck of YouTube.
Yeah. Then where's Dark Swamp?
Dark Swamp is on my channel, which is youtube.com/nowacking.
Nowacking. Don't whack. Nowacking.
None of that.
Where does your name come from, by the way? It's always fun to listen to where, like, it's like, oh, Martin is easy, Masako, it's the voice actor for Goku. Where's Nowacking?
Nowack is my last name, and I made the YouTube account when I was like in 7th or 8th grade, and I was like, oh, I'll just add ing because it's funny, it makes my last name a verb. And then like a year or two later, I realized, oh my god, it's it's like an innuendo kind of, and it's very funny because it's like the opposite of my personality. Because if you met me, you know I'm kind of like a vulgar person, and it's funny that my username is Nowacking, as in like no.
Yeah. Accidental innuendos are the best kind.
Yes.
It's like you say something. It's like, oh, that's I didn't necessarily mean it that way, but I guess.
It's out there now. I can't take that back. Great.
Yeah, mine is just Christmas, and then the numbers are. Uh, like I went with Christmas because I'm Chris Smith. It was almost like an insult that this one dude I sat next to in band class started calling me in. Back then I hated it, but once I got signed up for the internet and I was picking my Yahoo email, and like you got to think of something, and I go, I guess I'll go with Christmas. And obviously, you can't just have Christmas. So,
Yeah.
4477 was just the easiest number combination that Yahoo threw at me. And like, that's easy to remember and type in. I'll take that one.
That's great.
Yeah. So, whatever. I'm pretty much universally Christmas 4477 everywhere. If you see it, it's probably me, unless I deny it to my death.
I like Christmas. Christmas is fun.
Christmas is fun, and since I'm the only one around here, it's just Christmas. It was actually funny because we have Ventrilo for our staff, and everyone's got their nicknames, and some people have it instead of the noises, they have it set for Microsoft. Not Sam, but the female. What's the female one's name?
It should be Samantha, but I don't know.
But it's like Microsoft Sam. Whenever anyone does anything, it will say their name and what they've done.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like Christmas has joined the channel. When I first logged in, I had the numbers on, and it won't say number by number. It will say it. I wasn't aware of it because no one told me for like months until they eventually got saved. But it would say Christmas 4477 has joined the channel. And it would do that every time I moved from channel to channel or logged out event. And eventually it was like, you got to change your name to just Christmas. You got to. I can't take it anymore. What are you talking about? And then they held their mic up to their speakers. And it's like, this is what it does. Come into the channel and this is what it does. And like, oh yeah, wow, that is annoying. Let me go change that for you. I'm sorry.
All these numbers. I can't do this, man.
It does that every time and it's been doing that for months. Why didn't you say something sooner? It's just one of those things where it's like you don't know until someone tells you. But is there any place where the fans can keep up to date with the stuff once new episodes are released, or that special anime project that you've teased finally does come out?
Yeah, Twitter is normally where I do all my updating and talk about mundane things like eating cereal and cat pictures and stuff. So it's twitter.com/nowacking.
And speaking of cat pictures, I know you have recently gotten into the Tumblr scene, and there are plenty of cat pictures there.
There are. I love the cats. They're great.
And obviously, that would just be nowacking.tumblr.com or whatever.
Yeah, I believe.
It's important to stay consistent. You're pretty much nowacking across the board.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just look for nowacking, and you will find Jesse. Hooray!
Hooray!
And now, before we let you go, there is, of course, the order of the 91.8 The Fan tradition. Would you like to participate?
Totally.
We just asked you to say a radio bump for us.
Okay.
Just say, hello, my name is... You insert your name. I do this. You can say specific series, whatever you want to put there. It's completely up to you. And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
Alrighty, let me write it down so I don't mess up.
That sounds like a good idea. A lot of people like to take this option.
So I just say I'm a voice actress and parody writer? Would that be cool? Or...
Yeah, you can say that you specifically do Pokemon Bridge and Dark Swamp. Whatever you want to put there, it's totally up to you.
Cool. Alrighty.
So whenever you're all set, we can go for a take one. Go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jessie Nowak, also known as Nowacking. I'm a voice actress and parody writer for the internet, and you're listening to 91.8 The Fan.
Ta-da! Fantastic.
Hooray!
Hooray! Great success. A WinRAR is you. One of my favorite images. It's just the winner is you, but his head has been replaced with the
WinRAR.
The WinRAR. It's like, oh, internet. You always know just what to do. But do you have any final words of wisdom for all the fans out there before we sign off?
I don't know. If you're a fan of mine, I love you and thank you for sticking with me for like 5 years or whatever.
That's pretty much one of the best things to do. It's like, if you're a fan, thanks. If you're not a fan, be a fan.
If you're not a fan, go away. I don't like you anymore. Oh my god. No, it's cool. Like, cause it was at Otakon. Someone came up to me and said that they've been a huge fan of mine for a while now, and they loved my work voicing Luffy in One Piece parodies. And I was like, that was a long time ago. Oh my god, you've been with me for a while.
Yeah, one of mine was I went to Anime Boston in 2010, and was it 2010 that I went? No, it couldn't have been. It must have been 2011 that I did it. Yeah, 2011. So I'd been with the radio for a little over a year. You know, I'd moved from my radio stuff to doing the guest stuff and the interviews, like I'm doing right now, obviously. But when I first started, I had my own, 4-hour show, 5 days a week, and I was just at somebody's panel at NMA Boston 2011, and I asked I think it was Chris Ayer's panel, and I asked him a question, and then because we do live blogging of panels, and I check our Twitter, and someone was like, "Oh man, Christmas from Nine Way the Fan is right behind me." I'm like, "Wow, I have a fan, and they're right here, and they know who I am and stuff." And it's just one of those crazy things where it's like I don't have. I feel like I don't have as big of a reach as like Team Four Star or the rest of the abridging community, but apparently I've got fans. It was another thing. I went to AAC this last year, last October, and I joined the Super Smash Bros. Brawl tournament just for fun because I had nothing else to do that Sunday morning, and all I wrote down on my sign-in sheet was Christmas, and the MC knew that I was Christmas from 918 The Fan. I'm like, wow, they know me and they know us. Like, wow, okay, I guess I'm well known, and it's that's the most surreal I think I've gotten on the internet so far is people know who I am and I don't know who they are, and I don't know that they know me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love encounters like that. I have a hilarious story about a fan encounter at Otakon, but I'm sure I'm like out of time now. But
No, we can extend it for a fan story. Go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the abridged series panel at Otakon was on the Saturday at 9 a.m. And so if you
9
know
a.m.
me,
on Saturday? That sounds
yeah,
terrible.
it was a terrible time. Yes, but the time was, like the experience was great. But the physical, like actual time of 9 a.m. I could have
Yeah, yeah.
changed it to like 2:30 p.m. I would have liked that. But so we got into the room early around like 8:30, and there was already a big line lining up, and I realized sitting up there, I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom that was right outside the panel room, and I realized I rushed in there so fast that I failed to realize there was no toilet paper like anywhere, none.
Oh, no.
And it looked I remember it was kind of deserted when I was in there, so I was like, "Oh crap, am I in here alone? Like what am I supposed to do? Do I call like one kid's and ask him to send a girl in for me or something?" So I was like, "Hello? Is anyone in here with me?" And a girl's voice came and it was like, "Yeah, hi." And I was like, "Hey, there's no toilet paper. Could you help me out here?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And she went around, found some for me. And then I came out and went to the sinks and she was there. And I was like, "Thanks, dude." And her face when she saw me, her mouth kind of opened. And I was like, "Oh no, I hope she's not one of those chicks who's like offended if I call her dude. I don't want to offend you. I'm sorry," sort of thing. I thought. But before I could say anything, she just went, "Oh my god, you're Nowacking." And I was like, "Yeah, that's hi." And I went to handshake her, but then I was like, I was just in the bathroom. I'm gonna wash my hands first. So I washed my hands and there was no paper towels. So we just sort of elbow bumped and we talked about how she was enjoying the con so far. And I was like, "Hey, I gotta go, but this was funny and awesome."
Yeah, I had a moment like that at Anime Boston. Well, before I had my moment, some of the other staff were there. They ran into the Japanese voice actress and singer Momoy, and one of them knew, and one of them was really tired, so he didn't really notice. And after she got out of the elevator, one of them looks at her and was like, "That was Momoy, right?" And she goes, "What was? Oh, no!" And I laughed at that, and I was getting in the elevator, and it was just me, and then this other dude walked in, and I noticed he had a VIP badge, and he had one of the convention handlers, And I look at him and I look at his badge like, oh, Keith Silverstein, what's up?
That's cool. I love meeting guests at places where you've never seen their face before. So you're like, oh, that's what you look like. Cool.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things like, oh, this is you and I'm me and hi, how's it going? We're here in the elevator together. Just us.
I don't know if you noticed. Hello.
So, what do you think of
Elevators.
elevators?
They're great things. They transport you from one level of a building to another. This is great conversation.
Hope it doesn't break and we fall and die.
That would suck.
Here's my floor, bye. It's just, you never know how people are going to react when they meet someone that they really like, and this is their first time seeing them in person. And I don't know. I'm really glad I'm not like a super famous movie star who's mobbed every day. Like I'm not sure if I would be able to handle that.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that. Like sometimes it depends. Like if I'm a guest at a PonyCon, usually I get stopped a lot, and
Yeah.
then more people join the crowd, and I'm like, I just want to go to the artist alley.
I just want to buy some stickers.
I just want to buy a Rainbow Dash sticker, please.
But this was a lot of fun, and if you ever have anything super fun that you want to promote in the future, feel free to come on the show and we will chat about that and absolutely the opposite thing like we've done today.
Totally, thank you. And we could chat about elevators and that.
You know, elevators, they're a thing.
They're great.
They're fantastic.
They have buttons.
But for anybody who missed the interview, don't fret. It will be up on the website within the next 2 days, so keep it tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want and nothing you don't.